The movie takes place in the distant future of 2267. Earth, which used to be full of life, is now a deserted and unlivable desert. Wealthy individuals have relocated to a different fancy planet named Rhea, their new home. In contrast, less fortunate people are trapped in cramped space stations, which constantly orbit the lifeless Earth high up in space. They desperately crave the day to come when they can collect enough money to make their dream of moving to their ideal home in Rhea come true. Our protagonist is a youthful medic, Dr. Laura Portman. We see her recording a heartfelt video for her sister, Ariane, who is comfortably residing on Rhea. Laura reveals her plan to join Cooper Enterprises on a cargo ship named Cassandra. This job is her ticket to save enough money and journey to Rhea to finally reunite with her sister. The vessel Cassandra is destined for a round-trip venture through deep space, 8 light years in total. Its mission? To transport vital building materials to the remote space station 42. This station, floating near the planet Rhea, wants to transform itself into a key travel destination. During this voyage, the crew members will be put into a deep cryogenic sleep. Only one crew member at a time will stay awake for 8.5 months to keep an eye on the ship's operation. Laura steps aboard Cassandra and is warmly welcomed by the first officer, Anna Lindbergh. She joins a crew that includes Captain Pierre LaCroix, System Administrator Miyuki Yoshida, and 2 flight engineers, Claudio Vespucci and Igor Prokov. Amidst the rising terror threats from a terrorist group called the Ludites, opposing the reign of the government, the administrator has mandated the inclusion of sky marshals on every ship. Consequently, Lieutenant Samuel Decker from the Space Security Agency is assigned to their vessel. The movie progresses as the crew members are seen entering their cryo-sleep tanks while the ship embarks on its mission. Captain LaCroix is the first one to be the careful watcher. If anything strange happens during anyone's watch, they have to wake up Decker and the captain right away. Fast forward to 3 years and 8 months later, Laura is on her shift. Laura spends her days patrolling the ship, filling out reports, reading, exercising, and recording responses back to her sister. But one day, a haunting feeling of being watched fills her, and a mysterious echo from the cargo bay sends chills down her spine. A startlingly loud bang inside the cargo bay freezes her blood, and she witnesses something scratching the cargo hatch window from the inside. Panic ensues, and she rushes to find Decker already awake because the system wakes him up automatically in case of an emergency. They soon wake up Captain LaCroix. The journey that was supposed to be ordinary has now turned into an unexpected roller coaster of mystery and fear. The tale continues to unfold as they find clear signs that someone has accessed the off-limits cargo hold. Their suspicions are confirmed by the ship's computer. The cargo hold has been entered without authorization during Laura's shift. Splitting up to search different parts of the hold, their mission takes a deadly turn. Laura sees Captain LaCroix fall from a great height to his death. In the frantic rush to retrieve LaCroix's body, alarms blare and the cargo hatch starts to close, nearly trapping them inside. Barely escaping, Laura and Decker realize the gravity of the situation and decide to wake the rest of the crew. With LaCroix gone, First Officer Lindbergh steps into the command. She tasks Laura with performing an autopsy of LaCroix's body. Vespucci and Prokov are told to fix the cargo gate, while Yoshida checks the cryogenic tanks for any sign of unauthorized awakenings. During the autopsy, Laura makes a shocking discovery. An artificial eye within LaCroix's skull contains a video recording of his final moments. The video shows a container marked Danger, Biohazard, just before he falls. A strange sight since the ship was only supposed to be carrying harmless building materials. Shaken by this, Laura and Decker decide to venture back into the cargo hold. There, they find a young girl inside of a cooling tank. To their horror, they discover that the cargo is filled with such tanks, each holding a body. Despite the danger, they attempt to move the girl's tank to the main ship, assisted by Vespucci and Prokov. Back on the ship, they're met with a furious Lindbergh, who hammers them for entering the forbidden cargo area. Laura questions the presence of the unconscious bodies in the cargo hold, suspecting a cover-up. Lindbergh dismisses her concerns, arguing that their job isn't to interfere with the company's business. Despite Lindbergh's claims, Decker shares Laura's suspicion that Lindbergh knew about the tanks all along. Though Lindbergh demands that the tanks be returned to the holder, Decker stands with Laura, insisting on investigating its connection to LaCroix's death. The story takes a tense turn as loyalties are tested and secrets begin to unravel. The narrative continues as Laura and Decker investigate the mysterious tank. During this time, they bond a little, sharing personal stories. Laura tells Decker about her sister who won a visa to Rhea 7 years prior, revealing her wish to be reunited. Decker, however, expresses his doubt about their mission to Space Station 42, though he stops short of explaining further. The tank's secret begins to unravel as Laura and Decker find that the girl inside has inorganic tissue seamlessly integrated into her brain and nervous system. Decker speculates it's a virtual reality connector, suggesting that they connect her to an external system for more insight. Laura, however, fears for the girl's safety and decides against it. Despite agreeing, Decker urges Laura to keep these findings from the others. Laura continues to record videos for her sister, updating her about the bizarre happenings. She's taken aback when she receives a reply within minutes, contrary to the months it usually takes for messages to travel back and forth. As suspicion takes root, she shares her concern with Decker, questioning the need for secrecy about the girl. In response, Decker distracts her with a kiss, leading to an intimate moment between the two. Meanwhile, Lindbergh commands Yoshida to dig up any potential dirt on Decker, as she has a huge suspicion towards him. Soon, Yoshida uncovers that Decker has been frequently exiting his cryosleep tank during other crew members' shifts. Lindbergh summons everyone to the bridge and openly accuses Decker of causing LaCroix's death. Decker defends himself, arguing that the periodic checks of the ship are part of his duty. When asked about his whereabouts at the time of LaCroix's fall, Decker's lack of a convincing answer gets him arrested for murder. Despite his attempt to disarm Lindbergh, the crew manages to subdue him. Lindbergh orders him back into cryosleep for the rest of the journey and instructs Laura to return the girl's tank to the cargo hold. As Laura preps Decker for cryosleep, nursing his wounds to prevent blood contamination, Decker whispers that their true destination is not Space Station 42, but Rhea. Skeptical, Laura dismisses his claim as a desperate bid for sympathy. However, her doubt prompts her to request Yoshida to secretly check their target coordinates. Yoshida confirms that they're not heading to Space Station 42, but their encrypted coordinates are inaccessible. She explains that they can't change their course after departure, and that only Lindbergh has had access to the true coordinates from the start, deepening the mystery surrounding their journey. As the plot thickens, the crew members are spotted enjoying a small party in the lobby, while Yoshida diligently attempts to hack into their system near the cargo bay. Laura decides to check on Yoshida, but to her horror, she finds Yoshida's lifeless body brutally murdered in the lower decks of the cargo bay. Alarmed, they discover that Decker has been manually released from his cryogenic tank and set off in search of him. Exploring a ventilation shaft, Laura stumbles upon a room littered with food wrappers and remnants, a clear sign of an inhabitant. Suddenly, she's ambushed by Klaus Bruckner, the leader of the Ludites. After a struggle, Bruckner is shot dead by someone else, and Laura unearths his possessions, photographs, military gear, and a tablet showcasing a video message. The video reveals a truth that Laura never expected. Earth, once deemed uninhabitable, is now flourishing with life again, a truth that the government has kept hidden. She also discovers that some of the Ludidi members are surviving on Earth. Laura is shocked to see Decker in the video, standing next to Bruckner. He's wearing a uniform that looks just like the Ludites. The search for Decker concludes as he's captured and harshly interrogated by the crew members who want more information about the Ludites. He reveals an unsettling truth. Rhea is an illusion, a fabricated virtual reality where the so-called residents of Rhea live within their minds in the cryogenic tanks. He further explains that the artificial neural tissue found in the girl's brain serves as evidence of the truth. He further confesses that the government and Cooper Enterprise, the administrators of Rhea, have kept these facts hidden to manage the world population and profit from the costly trips to the non-existent Rhea. Although Decker admits to killing Bruckner, who in turn killed LaCroix, he denies having harmed Yoshida, leading Laura to suspect Lindbergh. With the girl now stable, Lindbergh instructs Laura to return her tank to the cargo hold and suggests that Laura can enter the cryosleep tank, with Lindbergh promising to cover her shift. This suggestion raises Laura's suspicions, but before she can act, Lindbergh reveals her true intentions by holding Laura at gunpoint. Lindbergh confesses that the virtual simulation is indeed real, created to maintain hope within humanity. She reveals that the initial colonization mission was a total failure, leading to irreversible changes that rendered the ecosystem uninhabitable. In response, Cooper Enterprise constructed a massive simulator in Rhea's orbit, Station 42. The so-called residents of Rhea never leave their cryo-sleep tanks, but are instead plugged directly into this simulator where they experience a flawless virtual existence. Now that Laura and Decker know the truth, Lindbergh intends to have them killed. But her plans are foiled when Vespucci and Prokop return after learning the truth from Decker and put a stop to her reign by arresting her. Lindbergh is placed into a cryo-sleep tank, marking a significant shift in power dynamics. In a moment of shared understanding, Laura is caring for the little girl when Decker approaches her with an apology. She agrees to help him fulfill the Ludites' mission, but only on the condition that he assists her in rescuing her sister from the fabricated reality. Once they realize they're not carrying building materials, but the so-called Rhea residents, who are merely inside cryo-sleep tanks, they choose to reveal the secret. Their plan includes docking their ship, Cassandra, with Station 42 and putting off the automatic unloading of the supposed Rhea residents, who are simply in cryo-sleep tanks, for half an hour. During this short gap, Decker will link Laura to the station's main computer, letting her send a message to Earth from within the simulation. In the meantime, he'll set a bomb to destroy Rhea's antenna system. This means the residents will continue living inside the simulation, but since they don't know that they're simply in a simulation, they've been sending messages to Earth that make people believe that Rhea is a real place. If the antenna system is destroyed, there won't be any more messages to Earth. This means the government can't control them anymore, and the residents won't unknowingly advertise Rhea. This would stop the government from making money by charging people to send them here. After a long and grueling journey, Cassandra finally docks with the station. As they put on their spacesuits in preparation for the mission, they discover the little girl is awake. To keep her safe and warm, Laura brings her into her room. Meanwhile, Vespucci and Prokop hatch a secret plan of their own. Unhappy with their existence aboard the cargo ship, they aim to throw two people out of their coffins and link themselves to the simulation. But they need Lindbergh's access badge to open the cargo hold. Vespucci manages to steal the badge from the cryo-sleeping Lindbergh, but accidentally contaminates her cryo-liquid, setting off a timer for her awakening. They meet in the cargo hold and enter one of the containers, with their plan seemingly going as planned. Meanwhile, Decker, wearing his spacesuit, steps outside. He puts the bomb in the antenna system. After that, he finds Ariane's tank, but his heart drops when he sees her body has already started to decay. At the same time, Laura, also in her spacesuit, leaves Cassandra and tries to get to the central hardware part of Station 42. But she soon runs into a problem when she finds out that her jetpack's fuel cell is broken, making her float towards the emptiness of space. Just when she starts to panic, Decker comes in quickly and guides her safely to the hardware part. He tells Laura the tragic news about her sister, Ariane, and suggests they let Ariane into the simulation to say a last goodbye. Laura will also enter the simulation to send a message to Earth and farewell to her sister. Even with the intense sadness, Laura agrees to the changed plan. Suddenly, they see Cassandra start to unload, leaving them with a tight 7-minute window to do their plan and get back on the ship, or it'll leave without them. The risks have never been bigger. Connected to the simulator, Laura starts to experience vivid hallucinations. She finds herself inside a stunning virtual world around her. She comes face to face with her sister, Ariane, in the simulated world. Overwhelmed with emotion, they embrace each other. Laura wants to share the harsh reality with her sister, but can't find it in her heart to shatter the beautiful world that Ariane is living in. Instead, she just records a final message to Earth, revealing the shocking truth about the non-existence of planet Rhea. By the time Laura awakens from the simulation, Cassandra is on the brink of departure. Decker insists that she must be the one to return, as they have just one functional jetpack, and she needs to bring the little girl their solid proof back to Earth. Suddenly, an enormous shockwave from the ship propels Laura and Decker into open space. In a heroic act of self-sacrifice, Decker uses his momentum to fling Laura towards the station, while he drifts away into the endless darkness of space. He confesses his love for Laura with his last words. She manages to latch onto the airlock of Cassandra just in time, and the explosive on the antenna system detonates, obliterating the antennas. Back on the ship, Laura rushes to find the little girl, but she's nowhere to be seen. As she frantically searches, Lindbergh attacks her. A fierce struggle ensues, ending with Laura trapping Lindbergh in an activated airlock. She ejects her into the void of space. She finally finds the girl safe in the lobby as the ship initiates autopilot, setting course for Earth. This creates a compelling moment. Laura's message appears on all the screens of space stations orbiting Earth. People are captivated as they discover the truth behind the government's deception regarding Rhea. Are you ready to keep binge watching? Click that video on screen now for another awesome sci-fi movie. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.